Good Friday afternoon. It's January 22nd, 2021. I'm Guy McPherson of GuyMcPherson.com. Follow GuyMcPherson.com. It'll take you to Nature Bats Last. And I'm going to provide a few headlines, actually a lot of headlines, dating back to Tuesday. We last did one of these videos on Monday, so these headlines go back to Tuesday. And then I'm going to give a wrap of the stock markets in the United States shortly after the close. So from ABC News, last Tuesday, U.S. coronavirus death toll eclipses 400,000 as Biden prepares to take office. That's a lot of dead people. From Barron's, shipping rates are soaring. What that says about the economy and inflation. What it says about inflation is nothing. We're in the midst of a greater economic contraction than occurred with the so-called Great Depression in the United States. This is the greatest depression. Inflation, the least of our concerns. From Reuters, stocks welcome Yellen's call to act big on coronavirus spending. Or, another take from Reuters, spend big now, pay down debt later, Biden's Treasury nominee Yellen tells lawmakers. There will be no paying down the debt later. There will be just spending big now. The debt was so large it couldn't possibly be paid off. It was comprised of more paper currency than had ever been printed, plus the value of all the gold ever mined in the history of the world. That was when Obama took office. And here we are quite a few years later. I don't think we're going to be paying off that debt anytime soon. In response from USA Today, on the 20th, Wednesday, stocks hit record on hopes, always the hopes, Biden will act on economy, virus. That's economy, comma, virus. From Bloomberg, also the 20th, Wednesday, vaccine shortage puts Americans on the road in search of shots. People are looking for the vaccine and are willing, at least rich people, are willing to go just about anywhere to get that shot. And that's been particularly telling here in Florida, where the governor initially denied that the pandemic was of significance, and now is begging people to come to Florida and spend their money so that they can get a shot. From Business Insider, also Wednesday, Janet Yellen suggests curtailing cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, saying they're mainly used for illegal financing. I'm not sure where that idea came from, but the Bitcoin market responds immediately the next day, Thursday, yesterday. 2-day Bitcoin sell-off wipes out $100 billion from the entire crypto market. That's from CNBC. So the statements that high-ranking officials make have consequences. From the Washington Post, jobless claims remain at historic highs last week as Biden inherits the worst job market of any modern president. From the story, another 900,000 people filed new unemployment claims last week, former President Donald Trump's last in office, a snapshot of the significant labor market challenges facing President Biden. From MarketWatch, yesterday, U.S. inflation set to rise this year, but bond traders shouldn't buy the hype, says Goldman. Again, inflation is being pushed out there as a distract and divide tactic by the corporate media, but inflation is, again, the least of our concerns. From CNBC, also yesterday, stocks rise to record highs once again as big tech jumps ahead of earnings. And at essentially the same time, from Reuters, Bitcoin heads for worst weekly loss in months. Also yesterday, from MarketWatch, Americans are more likely to go on shopping sprees when the stock market is rising. Why that's a bad thing? That's curious because the 1% obviously want people to shop because the money going through the system, the rate of flow of money going through the system is what is keeping this whole house of cards intact. And so you would think that people shopping would be the best thing that can happen. But with more than 30 million Americans unemployed at some point during the pandemic, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and NASDAQ hit all-time highs and continue to rally, but this gives Americans a false sense of security about the country's economic fortunes. In fact, consumers have responded to such gains by going on credit card spending splurges, regardless of whether they invest in stocks or not. So the masses are thinking the economy is great because the stock market is going up, even though they don't own any stock. And so they're going out spending money like there's no tomorrow. Guess what? They're right about that. From this morning at Barron's, IBM plunges, Ford falls, and Fauci spooks the stock market. Yeah, blame Fauci. Also this morning from CNN Politics, Biden readies move to get checks and food aid to low-income Americans, plus a federal pay raise. And here's the subhead. President Joe Biden is expected to sign 2 more executive orders on Friday, one focused on expanding food assistance and delivering stimulus checks to very low-income Americans, and the other on raising the minimum wage to $15 for the federal workforce, as he continues his swift efforts to overturn his predecessor's policies. And also this morning from NPR, Americans are moving to escape climate impacts. Towns expect more to come. Yes, there's a lot of confusion as the corporate media and paid climate scientists to continue to downplay or ignore the aerosol masking effect, thereby giving people the idea that there's some escape from climate change. If they just move further north, or they move away from the ocean where the sea levels are rising, and that's a non-issue. And so all of this distract and divide and encourage people to move, that's money. That's money for a few people. Not for you, not for me, but for a few people. 2 more headlines to close out the week from the Wall Street Journal. UK COVID-19 variant could be more deadly, British officials say. This is the relatively new mutant. And finally, stocks fall as Wall Street worries anew about virus impact on growth. That from the street. And actually the Dow and the S&P 500 both fell today. NASDAQ, the tech dominated by tech stocks, rose slightly. And for the week, they're all up. The NASDAQ is leading the way with an increase for the full week, but all 3 indexes are up for the week. Apparently that's all.